Happy Halloween! Or however close that may be when you're watching this. Good evening. Or as you can see, early evening, late afternoon. Either way, it's spooky season, and I want to tell you a spooky story. So, here's the thing. I had a lot of thoughts about what I could do for a Halloween video, and I decided that telling a scary story would be just a fun, easy breezy, good quality fun time for everybody. And then I realized that I'm not brave enough to go on, say, creepypasta or look up urban legends or any of that, because I value my sleep. And I enjoy a quality night's rest of peace and easy dreams. So what I decided to do instead is that I'm going to tell you a scary story that I'm going to make up in a segment that I am calling 10-Minute Tales. Here's what I'm going to do. I will randomly generate a plot and 2 character names, and I will tell you a tale in 10 minutes that I'm making up off the top of my head. That is what these clocks are here for. This is a real-time clock to show you what time this is that I'm filming it, 4:54 and 40 seconds. And this is going to be the stopwatch to help me know how long I've been talking. I chose 10 minutes because my Canon EOS Rebel T5 has developed a delightful little glitch where it shuts off after filming for about 11 minutes and 50 seconds. It's got as far as 11 minutes and 53 seconds, but I didn't want to risk it. So, what I'll be doing is after this intro, I'm going to stop shooting. I will then shoot again a brief segment where I pick out the plot. Then will come the actual 10-minute tale, where you can watch in real time as I craft this horror story from nothing but my mind. Let's see. Let's just see how it goes. And I thought about this, and I feel like the best way to not get lost in the sauce while I'm telling this tale is to go by 2-minute increments. So by minute 2, I would like to have introduced the character and the catalyst. Minute 4 would be their first big clue or the first big twist. Number 6 would probably be the thing that seems like they're going to have a fight, or it's like the thing that's going to set them back forever, but they're going to come back from that. 8 will be the pinnacle of the story, the peak of the riding hill slope. I can't think of the word. The climax! There it is. That's what the name is. The climax of the story, and minutes 8 through 10 will be the denouement. I learned that word from a series of unfortunate events, the penultimate peril, where they were at the Hotel Denouement, which it means the part of the story as it begins to wrap up and go to a close. So, that is what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be a 10-minute horror story. Perfect, okay. Okay. We begin our random generator. Ooh, should I do names first? Yes, I'm gonna do names first. That way, as I discuss who the main character in character 2 is, there we go. Also, I'm wearing my Final Girl outfit today. This is what I wear to haunted houses. I feel like it's got good coverage on my arms so nothing creepy can touch my skin. It's loose enough that I can't be ogled, but I'm wearing stretchy pants so I have full range of motion to run away. I did my hair as 80s as I could to honor those who came before me. Let's go. Okay, so I don't have a surname in mind. It doesn't matter who does her given. No. Flavor? The flavor is human. Yes. Okay, just show me some names. Write me some names. Aiden. Okay, our girl's name is Aiden. I said I was going to do first name. We're doing first name. So, Aiden. Oh, maybe I should screenshot this so you guys can see what's happening. Wow. There we go. Okay, male name generator. Write me some names. Tomos. It is spelled Tomos. What is this? Young adult fantasy lit? I don't mind, I like young adult fantasy lit. Anyway, so Aiden is our main character, and her good friend Tomos is how I've decided to pronounce that. Yes, it's spelled Tomos. Tomos. I like it. Alright, random plot generator. So, Aiden, our main character, is I should screen record this as well. A woman in her 70s who can be quite arrogant. So that's our final girl, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, and Tomos is and Tomos is a woman in her 70s who is also very compassionate. So I guess Tomos is not going to be the male lead. We're gonna not have a male lead. This, hopefully, will pass the Bechdel test. The story begins in a cemetery. Apt, I say. What are they doing? A relationship breaks up. Okay. Alright. There's a story about rags to riches is the theme. My horror story theme is rags to riches. And the character action is your character takes control of the situation. Oh, you mean the 70-year-old woman who's arrogant? Yes. Okay. Kind of wish it had been a different something that would lend itself more to horror, but okay, let's do this. Alright, so once again, our story is about Aiden, a 70-year-old woman who can be quite arrogant, and her best friend, Tomos, a woman who in her 70s who is very compassionate. The story begins in a cemetery, and it's about a relationship breaking up, rags to riches, and our character takes control of the situation. I think I've got an idea. I don't know how scary it's gonna be. Alright. As you can see, it is 5:01 and 52 seconds as I speak this. All I'm gonna do now is turn the camera off, turn it on, start the story. Let's see how this goes. And hopefully there'll only be like a minute's different to show you that I am, as best I can, just pulling this out of the top of my head. Lord, give me creativity. Okay. Alright. We begin our story. And go. Aiden Everglade was a wealthy woman. She'd lived most of her life on easy terms, most of which was due to her wealthy husband, Edgar, who had sadly passed away. Now, Edgar had invented something quite unique, but very secret. The government wouldn't let him tell anybody what it was. But Aiden knew, because she was his wife, and he couldn't keep secrets from her, mostly because she weaseled it out of him, and also because a good relationship is built on trust and communication. Aiden's best friend was a woman named Tomos. Tomos was a kind and caring soul who, she hadn't been given much in her life, but the two of them had known each other always. They had been girls together. They had danced in the swimming pools, and then they had frolicked in the meadows and gave tea parties for their dolls. They were girls together. Tomos was there when Aiden met Edgar. Tomos was there when Edgar chose Aiden. Tomos was there as she got to watch the man she loved fall in love with her best friend. Sure, she found happiness in the arms of another, We all take what life gives us, and we do the best that we can with it. But there was always some small part of Tomos that always wished things had turned out a little bit different. Because there was something about Aiden. She had everything. She'd had everything for years, 70 long years. Fortune had seemed to favor Aiden until it did not. The police had been busy. Sure, 70-year-old men die frequently of old age. That's just what happens occasionally. But Edgar had been a healthy man, active, always whittling wood, carving shapes. And then there was the matter of the notes. Notes that had started arriving some years earlier. Notes saying that they knew about the project. They knew about Edgar's invention. And the notes often had details that no one but Aiden, Edgar, and the government had. It made them all deeply uncomfortable, but it went on for so long that it became almost a comforting sort of fear. It was something they didn't like, but it came around once a year, like President's Day. Sure, you don't really know what to do with yourself on President's Day, but at least it makes a day of something. A little something out of the ordinary. Toward the end, though, the notes had been coming with frequenter and frequenter frequency. Aiden confided in her dear friend Tomos, who was always there to lend a listening ear. Tomos, she said, all those ragged orphan children are constantly begging for all of my wealth. I don't know how to make people arrogant. And I give them money and I give them funds and still they clamor at my door. Oh, Aiden, said Tomos compassionately, we must look at those less fortunate than us and be kind to them. You're right, of course, said Aiden. You always are. Oh, how glad I am to have your listening ear. May I bother you for a little more listening, my dear Tomos? Why, surely you can, my dear Aiden. You know that I am your best friend in the world. Yes, that is the case. Oh, my goodness, it's almost 5 minutes. Well, lately the notes have been coming every day. And every day the notes have been coming. Yes, every day, and they've been coming with terrible frequency. And I am frightened. I'm frightened now because they've started threatening the children, my wealthy little children that I had. Oh, not your wealthy little children. Yes, and they know about the experiments. Experiments, yes. The experiments, yes. The experiments, yes. The experiments on the little orphan children. You do experiments on the little orphan children, yes. Because you have to do that for wealth and money and power and privilege. You have to do experiments on little orphan children and for science and that's why. No, Aiden, say it isn't so. It is so, and I'm terribly scared because somebody knows and somebody's going to tell. All of this has been happening at the cemetery, by the way. This whole conversation, it's been happening at the cemetery. And Tomos takes Aiden's hand and she says, What do you mean they're going to tell? She said, well, I came home and I didn't even tell the police this. There was another note pinned on Edgar's chest. And it said, I believe the person writing the notes killed my Edgar, leaving me with crippling debts. Yes, debts. because debt and the garnering thereof is one of the true horrors we face along the way. Anyway, Tomos hugs her friend and says, there, my dear old pal. All will be well once everyone knows. Aiden pushes away from Tomos. Tomos? What do you mean? Oh, Aiden, don't you know? All those times I lent a listening ear. All those times you complained to me. All those times you complained about the little orphan children. Don't you know? Hey, Tomos, what do you mean? It was I! Remember, she's 70. It was I! All those years who wrote the notes. I who spied on your experiments. I who listened and wrapped up the wounds of the little orphan children that you experimented on. We all know that Edgar, at least I know that Edgar was just the face of the madness. Back then, 40 years ago, they didn't let women do things. And so your brilliant mind had to be hidden behind the charade of your husband's masculinity. But I knew all along it was you tormenting the little orphan children to do the experiments for the government. Tomos, you never said. I never said because I never wanted to. I wanted you to fear. 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 Yes. You stole the man I love. And I know that he loved me. You're mad. I'm not mad, Aiden. I'm tired, and I'm 70 years old! And he's loved me since the day he met me. We both knew that you were too much. You're delusional, Tomos. He was my husband. You've always had a sick little crush on him. Ha 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 ha! Boom! We're getting close to the end. She pushes Aiden into Edgar's open grave. I don't know why they're there alone, but she shovels dirt on top of her. All of the people who went to the funeral have already walked away at this point, and ha 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 ha, she chuckles. Your dark deeds can no longer be hidden, Aiden. I will see the little orphan children freed from your tyranny. She drops a single white rose on Aiden's grave. And from behind a tree steps Edgar, holding wads of cash. Here's my life insurance, baby, he says. They kiss, and they ride off into their twilight sunset to live their golden years on a cruise ship to the Bahamas. The end. Oh my goodness. I really hope I filmed that. Wouldn't that suck if I didn't film that? Anyway, happy. Oh, I'm still filming my screen. Stop it now. Good. Okay. Happy Halloween. Stay safe out there. And try not to experiment on any little orphan children. Because there are always watching eyes and listening ears. Just waiting for their comeuppance. Happy Halloween!